Wow, man. I can't believe it. We finally finished the Friday the 13th series. The series that, like, basically started Marathon Me. Insane.
You know that there's 8 more, right?
Huh?
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Here's the first movie.
Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Peel that pig and slice him thick.
The body count is always bigger.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
And the fucking trees walked in those movies. Hi, doggy.
What a story, Mark.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled.
It's just like your opinion, man.
Life moves pretty fast.
If you want your sequel to become a franchise.
37 dicks.
In a row?
I'm your number one fan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Marathon Me with your host, Rhys.
And Kane.
And we are back doing something different again. It seems like every third episode we're doing something different to change it all up. But this is the first ever not from choice of our own, from just the circumstance, first ever remote podcast. So hopefully it actually sounds okay, but Kane is not in the same room as me.
It's madness. It's maddening. I am in Melbourne. He is all the way up in Sydney. Oh, it's heartbreaking. I'm recording right now, and I'm just looking at my bare wall. I'm not looking at Rhys's beautiful face. It's heartbreaking. It's crushing.
It's weird. It's really weird, right? Like, it doesn't feel right, but it should be okay because, I get to hear your voice, so that's fine.
Exactly. It's like we don't get the visual joy of seeing each other, but we still get the audio joy of hearing each other and still getting to riff on movies and just talk about random nonsense.
Exactly. And we did get to watch this movie together, at least, when I was in Melbourne. So
yes, we did.
Yeah, so we did get to have, like, that communal watch, and overall, like, sort of just like a little sort of summary of what you feel about this movie. How did you feel about it?
I was really excited to watch this because, like, this is like one of the most, like, beloved entries in the Friday series.
Part 4, the final chapter is always seen, like, when you look at lists of top 10 most exciting Friday the 13th films, it's usually pretty high up there.
Yeah, definitely. It's always, like, in the top 3. But I'm gonna be honest, I did not like this movie.
Me too. And it doesn't make any sense, right? Well, in certain ways it does, but, like, it does do something different that we haven't seen in the franchise so far. It does feel fairly unique from the rest, but it just doesn't hit.
Nah, a lot of it does not do anything for me, honestly. Like, just, like, everything in general, I don't know, because, like, it wasn't really, like, due to our mood, because, we're in a pretty good mood and all that, we're having a good day, and watching this movie, it just did not click for us, really.
Yeah, I went into this with an open mind and an open heart, and Friday the 13th Part 4 did not pierce my skin, and here's a little bit of the trailer.
3 times before, you have felt the terror, known the madness, lived the horror. But this is the one you've been screaming for. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason is back. He moves like a shadow, dark and silent.
Sorry you changed your mind?
He never utters a word. He doesn't even seem to breathe.
Where the hell's the corkscrew?
He simply, mindlessly, mercilessly kills.
You know what, man? Final chapter. If this was the final chapter, like the actual final chapter, I feel like the series will kind of go off on a weird note, maybe not be as remembered as fondly as the series currently is these days,
Well, imagine like how much it would have sucked if it did end this way, because Jason just would have died and then been seen as dead, and then it's like, okay, well, done. Like, but also he would have died as like such a different version of how he's sort of seen in pop culture anyway. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like, he wouldn't have been seen as this like hulking tank that is indestructible. So
yeah, literally, because like that shit doesn't come until like part 6 onwards and all that, when he becomes zombie Jason.
Yeah, exactly. And like when this, I think that it has a pretty firm, good opening, this film. Like, I like how they do the classic 80s movie thing of recounting the entire events of the series so far, but they use an interesting technique to do it though in this one, is that they use like the idea of a campfire to like a campfire ghost story almost thing to recount the events. That was good. I thought that was good, and I was like, oh, I'm interested to see what's going on here. As well as that, I don't know if you remember or not, but Friday the 13th Part 4 was what I put on at my Halloween party that I hosted when we were 17.
Oh, is it that Halloween party that we're thinking of?
That Halloween party that we're talking of.
Oh, no. What? Part 4, really?
Part 4, yeah, because I was like, you know, I want to put on a Friday the 13th movie, and which one I thought on the top of my head would be the most, like easy to consume for people that weren't immersed in that series. And honestly, not a bad selection for the idea that it pretty much puts you up to date in the first 5 minutes anyway, and it's not too forceful in the way that they do that. So I remember I put it on, and the first 5 minutes, I'm like, I picked the right movie. And then after about another 5 minutes, no one was paying attention to this film, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah, but hey, the effort was still there. Like, you still put in that effort. So there's that.
The effort was there. It was. I just wanted to have a Halloween party where we watch horror movies or have horror movies playing in the background as we all socialize and do stuff. And that didn't really happen because people just wanted to socialize the whole time. Weird.
You have this bad habit of like wanting to do a specific thing or like have this specific like theme at a party, but it just gets all out of fucking control and all that. Like for like your Halloween party, you wanted people to sit down and watch a movie, but everyone's socializing, and a certain someone puked all over your curtains and passed down your kitchen.
Yes, that certain person is Kane Murcott right here.
Don't know what you're talking about, mate. Wouldn't be me, it was Spider-Man.
Yeah. Kane was dressed up in a Spider-Man costume, and I just remember trying to go to sleep at like 3 or 4 in the morning or something in my bed, in my bedroom, and I just hear a huge crashing on the other side of the house, and I probably should have, the responsible thing to do in that time would have probably been to go and check it out and make sure everything was okay. But I just remember being so tired and just exhausted by the whole thing that I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. That's tomorrow Rhys's problem. That is tomorrow Rhys's problem.
I do not fault you for not bothering to come out. It is all goods.
and then Kane is there on my floor, like a little pool of vomit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was before or after that. Because I did see you on the floor at one moment where you were like, half of your Spider-Man costume was torn off.
And I got and I got my singlet on and everything.
Yeah, you have your singlet on, and you just look defeated. You look almost half deceased.
Well, there's that famous photo of me on the floor. That is one of my favorite photos. Yeah.
I think it's on the kitchen floor, and it is an amazing photo.
It is, because like half my body's like hidden behind the bench and all that, so like you just see like top half of my body. There's another photo where I think Stephanos took it, where it's just my legs sticking out, so it literally makes me look like a corpse. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, it was freaking great. I remember like shaking your shoulder a little bit to be like, Kane, wake up. And then you woke up for a second, vomited where your head was, and then just placed softly your head into your vomit.
Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, no.
Good. That is good that you don't remember that.
Well, now I do. You just told me it.
And then, well, you don't remember it. It's just now a story. That was a different person. For you, for all that you know, that was a totally different person doing that.
It was like, you know how like Peter Parker, like when he has the black suit, he becomes a different person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was your symbiote.
Exactly. That was my symbiote moment.
You're just vomiting out the symbiote. That's fine.
Oh my god.
And then I woke up in the morning and the whole kitchen table was just covered in this liquid, and I'm like, what is going on here? But the floor had no liquid on it, and I felt the curtains, and they had absorbed the vomit that Kane had vomited all over the kitchen.
Oh, so I never
absorbed it.
Oh, no, sorry, I was just saying, like, because I always thought that I puked on the curtains. I didn't know that they absorbed it.
No, you were a gentleman enough to puke on the table and on the floor, and then it just absorbed slowly all of the vomit from
as a
from
real
the floor.
Man should. As a real man
exactly, gentlemen. But that is completely fine. It's a very special memory to me, honestly. I'm glad that it happened.
Yeah, it's a special memory as well. You know, it's a nice thing to look back on and laugh at, but I remember, like, the morning of, I was just fucking like, oh my god, Rhys fucking hates me. He's so fucking pissed. Which you had every right to be. You had every right to be.
Well, you probably drank enough that night to end up in a hospital. Like the hospital that is in the opening of this film. So,
yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know, let's talk about that. So, I think that this freaking hospital opening, which horror movies seem to like doing. Like, there's Halloween 2, a lot of that is in a hospital, and then there's also, there's quite a lot of one of the Exorcist sequels is in a hospital.
Yeah,
and
Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is in a hospital.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And man, this hospital opening is weak as fuck, I think. I think it sucks.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help that the character that we're following for the first, like, 5 minutes in the hospital fucking sucks. Like, he's just a disgusting pig of a man.
Dr. Axel. Dr. Axel
is what the fuck?
Is a horrible human being. And I realized that him not locking the freezer that the dead body of Jason is locked in allows every next part of this franchise to happen.
So he is the reason why so many more bodies will fall, is all Axel's fucking fault, because he's just a lazy prick.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's a horny, lazy dude that was way more concerned with getting his dick wet than actually then doing his job, and it caused all these other movies to happen. And unfortunately, the whole rest of this movie to happen.
Yeah.
What my least favorite part about this film is just the teen cast. The teen cast just sucks, I think.
Oh yeah, compared to the other films, like, they're, like, look, like, none of the characters in these movies are, like, anything to write home about, but, like, the cast in the previous 3 movies, they were fun, you know, you at least had, like, a couple in characters that you were like, oh, I like them and all that. Like, I'm not a big fan of the entire cast of the original Friday movie, but, you know, you got Alice, you got fucking Steve Christie and his bloody, big biceps and all that, so you got Kevin Bacon. Second movie, you got a lot of fun characters there. Third movie, mate, you got Shelley, bro.
I know, you got Shelley, you've got all the cartoon characters in the third one.
Exactly.
I cannot fault them.
You got the whole Scooby gang there, and then here, it's just like, they're just bloody red shirts waiting to die. Like, there's nothing to them.
You get no sense that they are a unit at all. There's little connections, but, like, there's little connections between them, but that's it. They're not friendly to each other. They don't really seem to even like each other that much. Some of them want to have sex with each other, but that's all. You don't get a sense that they actually like being around them.
They're literally all together just to have sex, really. That's basically it. It's like Crispin Glover's whole character in this movie is literally just talking about, like, fucking and all that.
McFly!
Yeah, literally, just George McFly just wants to get his dick wet before he meets Mrs. McFly. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And there's it's weird that he's pretty much like our main. It feels like that he's sort of our main character almost in this teen group. Yeah. And you just get nothing from him other than he wants to bone, which is the same depth that a lot of these American Pie movies that we just watched had.
Yeah, I know. And Jesus Christ, I thought we were done talking about sex.
I thought that we were done. I thought we were finished, but it looks like we're not.
We can't escape it. We can't escape it because, you know, we're men. We can't escape it.
Yeah, I know. The unique archetype that this film has, though, that none of the others have, is the set of twins. But the set of twins they don't really do much. There's not really much going on there.
All there is one of them wants to fuck, one of them doesn't do anything. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't want to fuck and doesn't do anything interesting.
it's almost like this destructive lens that it's like only two type of women in this world. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like this really gross way of looking at women.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
two types
they're all
of
the same, but some fuck and some don't, and it's gross. It's really really gross.
Yeah, it's fucking whack, is what it is.
And then the and like the one that is like the asexual one, she's the one that dies first, which is weird.
Yeah.
That's very inconsistent with this whole Friday the 13th lore.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. And like, oh my god, like her death scene was kind of cool, like how it was shrouded in shadows and shown through like thunderstrikes and all that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yep, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like she, like her silhouette, like you see her shadow get stabbed by Jason with like a fucking spear or something. Like I was like, oh, that's not bad. That's kind of more unique than what I'm used to in a Friday movie. But like that's really it. That's all that like I remember about that character, you know?
Yeah, exactly. There's another girl. There's an innocent girl in this friendship dynamic, or like in this group. This group of individuals. I don't even want to call them a friendship dynamic. She's like the only one that doesn't go skinny dipping, and like there's like you don't really get much from her either. Like she just.
I forgot she was in the bloody movie, honestly.
Yeah. I only am remembering because I'm going through the notes right now. And she is God. Like she's supposed to sort of be our final girl as well because she's the innocent one.
She's the one that gets the axe through the chest, right?
Yes, she's the one that gets the axe through the chest.
Right. Alright, cool. Just needed to make sure.
Overall, there's a lot more nudity in this one straight off the bat too. Like it's just gratuitous as hell and doesn't feel charming. It's like I think the first like nude scene that we get is with Tommy Jarvis watching there, it's just uncomfortable because he's a child and
it's fucking weird, especially like knowing that Corey Feldman's like story and all that in Hollywood, how like he was a child exposed to like adult stuff and all that, thank you Hollywood and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. So it's
very uncomfortable.
We get introduced to Tommy Jarvis in this movie, and that was a thing that I was also really looking forward to in this like installment, right? We're gonna get some continuity, we're gonna get some characters that last more than one movie. Woo! and he just is sort of whatever.
Yeah, he's just dude, he like barely has any dialogue in the movie from what I remember as well.
Yeah, he doesn't. He really doesn't.
And he's like
he has an impressive mask collection.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But there's no way he made those. Like, come on. He's like, yeah, I made them. Like, no, mate, you didn't. Shut up.
Come on. We've watched all the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. We know the kids just lie. Kids will just lie about things for no reason other than to be cool. So I think that's...
Greg Heffley is based on Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah, it's a connection that makes a lot of sense anyway.
Yeah, true.
And like I like when they focus on the family a lot more than when they're focusing on this like group of teen friends. I think that's a lot stronger because also it's just something different. But even then, it's not great. I don't get a huge sense of who Tommy Jarvis's sister is.
Nah, me neither. But like, at least with the family, like I can at least buy that they're a family that love each other. You know, there's some form of chemistry between between mother, daughter, and Tommy and all that.
You do believe that they have some sort of connection, unlike the teens.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's insane, honestly. I'm very excited to see like later on down the line and compare like the other teen groups and all that and compare them to this film and see if they're like if we get improvements or downgrades, you know what I mean?
I think that this whole franchise is just going to be a roller coaster ride of teens that are interesting, not interesting at all, and some that really stand out, and then some that we will just completely forget about. I think there's going to be films coming up that we will not remember a single human being from that film.
Oh yeah, mate, most likely, yeah. I'm very excited though to see to like compare all like the teen cast and like every Jason in these movies. Like it's very exciting.
We'll do some highlights at the end. We're going to do some highlights.
Hell yeah, we will.
And there's just fucking none here. There's none in this one.
Yeah, like, what's it called? Like, with this film, like, opening up, you definitely, like, already a downgrade is the cinematography. Like, the way this film looks, it's a lot more like grainy and a lot more like just like dark and gross looking in a way. Like it feels like the budget was slashed, even though I'm sure the budget was much higher for this film because like these movies made a bloody killing at the box office, no pun intended. But like it's just yeah, it feels gross and all that, but like not in a good way. Like you think that a gross kind of looking movie will aid to, the horror, the kills, the tension. It doesn't really though. It's like I was like, okay, this is different, like the way it looks, but it's just off-putting. Like nothing stands out on a visual aspect, you know what I mean? Especially compared to part 3. Like obviously part 3 had to like be, very brightly lit and all that, to help to aid with the 3D technology that was being used at the time. But like that film looked bloody beautiful for a bloody slasher film. It's insane. And then this just looks disgusting.
That's an excellent point that you raised, though, because we're supposed to be here talking about the whole, like, marathon ability of this franchise, right? And going from part 3 to part 4, it looks like that they fired the cinematographer and was like, nah, someone else will figure that out. That's all right. There's just nothing visually interesting about this.
No, not at all. I completely agree.
Oh, and, like, I always had, like, rose-tinted glasses, I think, to this film. Like, when I made my first initial ranking when I was, like, 13 watching all these films, I feel like I put this one quite high because I think that in retrospect I thought it looked a lot nicer because of the whole like family warm cabin feeling of it, and in theory that appeals to me a lot more, is that like that sort of log cabin that the family live in, it has a lot more of like a safe feel to it, like as a safe house. And then knowing that like Jason inevitably is going to come and encroach on this safe house, that is what sort of like interested me about it, and I almost remembered that as being quite effective. But in this one, no, I don't think it was that effective. I don't think that I do feel that warm and safe in this house, and then it's encroached on by Jason.
Yeah, nah, quite literally. Plus, also, like, you're not in the house, like, at all. Like, the house is in one scene, I think, before, like, the third act action happens and all that. And then, like, it doesn't have any time to be developed as the, quote-unquote, as you put it, safe house. Like, like, it just becomes the bloody another killing, slaughter. It becomes another slaughterhouse by the end. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, totally. And I feel that there's very little build-up of Jason even in this movie.
Yeah, he's just kind of there. Like, we do get a pretty neat, like, little, tease before he comes back and all that. When, dickhead Axel forgets to lock the icebox, we get a really nice, we get one of the only memorable shots of this movie where, the door is, like, left ajar and you see, like, cold breath coming from Jason's mouth, showing that he's alive. I think that was, I think that's a very nice touch to what they did. Nice, subtle way to be like, oh, he's still alive, without, like, shoving it down our throats before, like, obviously then showing him slitting someone's throat, like,
Are you telling me this movie has subtlety? What?
I know, dude, I'm surprised as well. It had one memorable shot, just one.
I can't believe that I missed this. I'm upset. I'm upset that I missed the one little bit of nuance in this film.
Well, now I've put it back into your mind.
Because I think that the kills aren't anything special because of this limited build-up. Like, I'm not engrossed by these kills and go, oh, wow, and I don't think there's any anxiety that builds up, just because Jason, I think, doesn't have as much presence as he should. And I really, like, it's hard for me to say this because it feels like with Rose, like, reflecting back in retrospect, that he should, because he does look really good in this.
Jason looks great in this. Yeah, this is the best human Jason has ever looked.
Yeah, he looks awesome, but does not have any presence because of that limited build-up.
Yeah,
he doesn't. I swear, man.
It just kind of looks like in the film he's just he's just going through the motions in this one. He knew that this was he thought this was his last movie, so he's just doing this for a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. One last score until retirement, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, well, all right, Final job. All right, let's just get this shit over and done with. I gotta go home after this.
Yeah, it really like highlights to me that there is almost a science or a recipe to making a good one of these slasher movies, right? Like, building up the teenagers just enough so that they're either characters that are amusing enough that you don't want them to die, or so like toxic enough that you need them to die, or just sort of humanized a little bit so that you feel something about it, as well as that like having it's like slowly drip feeding you Jason. Also, it makes a huge impact for when he actually starts killing people, and because it didn't have those ingredients, then this just doesn't work. This does not work.
I think also with the lack of build-up with Jason, what doesn't work for me in with this movie is that, like, because, you know, I've been oversaturated with, like, you know, the Friday the 13th series, because, you know, like, obviously it's very big in pop culture. I've seen all the kills, I've seen all the movies, blah 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 blah. Basically, like, when I think about these movies, I think about, oh, they're so brutal, they're so, like, oh, fast-paced, violent, and all that. And going back and watching these movies, especially this one, a lot of it is fucking boring. Like, you're just sitting there just waiting for Jason to do something. And then even then, it's just like, oh, that's it? Okay, cool. I think also it comes from the fact that, you know, we're a 21 and 22-year-old guy watching these movies. Obviously, it's not, like, the kills especially are not going to have as huge of an impact on us as it would for us at, like, 13, you know?
Yeah, and you are right that this is just, there's just these long extended moments of boredom. Like, okay, even when the third act starts and everyone starts dying in like a really, really quick sort of trajectory, like you don't go 4 minutes without a death happening. Even that is boring at the start, I feel. Like with Teddy and his vintage erotica, like, you know how he finds the projector and is playing this like weird like vintage porn and laughing at it. Also, imagine your friend just starts playing that in the whole group, and it's like, dude, what are you? I could imagine,
dude. Reese, you've done that.
Okay. I turned it off when it started to get too weird.
Yeah, no, I know. You still put on porn at a party in my house. I was not in the room when this happened, but it was Nick's.
It was your brother's porn, so really.
Sorry, it was Nicholas's gay porn. Yeah.
Yeah, so really, it's not my problem.
Oh my god, look at this man just trying to take away bloody fucking hell, what's the word? He's trying to deny anything to do with this whole situation. Yeah, mate, whatever. Dodging responsibility.
No, okay, I can admit that I did that, but I think that what I found funny was the build-up, and then when it started to actually get into it, it was not fun anymore and turned it off. Where Teddy is doing the exact opposite. He isn't laughing in the build-up, he's laughing at the women that are, like, exposing themselves in this.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, bro. Like, it's just gross.
He's also watching it for, like, a third of the movie.
Yeah, oh my god, because for the first part of the movie, you know, he's trying to get laid and all that, and no girl wants to sleep with him because he's a bit of a weird guy. Well, okay, not a bit of a weird guy. Clearly, after watching porn, I'm not surprised that they didn't want to fuck him, because, like, why are you going to watch bloody vintage porn at a bloody party, bro? Like, I know you didn't get with anyone, but, like, you know, maybe do something a bit more constructive, you know? They didn't have smartphones back then, but, you know, I'm sure you can figure something out. Yeah, the next best thing. Before smartphones were invented, people who didn't get pussy at parties, they just watched vintage porn. That's just it.
Yeah, it's just what you had to do in those days. My dad used to. He always tells me about the days when he had to do that.
Yeah, same here.
Did you find that there were any good kills, like standout kills in this?
Not really. Like, the only one that comes to mind that I remember... Oh, no, there's two that come to mind. Jason's death, which is, you know, pretty cool, because, you know, kid fucking kills him and all that, and also we had the really cool, unmasking scene that came before, and, like, how Jason looks in this movie, unmasked, looks fucking great. I love it. I love how he looks in part 4. Good. And then we got the shower scene where Jason's crushing up the dude's head in the shower. I don't remember the guy's name. I don't think he had any dialogue apart from being in the shower.
Yeah, I do not remember any of the names from this one.
But you remember that kill though, yeah?
Yeah, I do. Like that definitely is like that's one that's okay, but I feel it just doesn't have much weight because of the limited build up.
Definitely not no, but like when thinking of all the kills, you know, that's like the only one that really stands out. Oh, actually, and also the Crispin Glover corkscrew bit, but that's not really for the kill. Not really for the kill though. It's more so just Crispin Glover in a whiny tone, just be like, "Where the hell's the corkscrew?" Like, yeah,
that's my highlight kill, the corkscrew one.
Yeah,
because he's looking for it. He's looking for it, and then he finds it.
Yeah, there you go. Then it was just Jason was just helping him out.
Yeah, exactly. Here it is. That was my highlight, and a lot of the other ones just into my brain and out of my brain.
Yeah, they don't do anything for me, honestly. Like, especially compared to the previous 3 films. Like, you know, they got so many iconic ones and just a lot of fun ones, you know. And then a lot of these, they just don't stand out. Like in the moment, sure, I probably said like, oh, that's a cool kill, but then like literally as the movie ends, I forget about it.
Oh yeah, completely. You want to hear like probably the thing that offends me the most about these teenagers and these kills in this movie is that I realized as the last innocent girl dies, like as in like our pure girl that sort of like could have been our final girl but wasn't. I realized that this teenage group of friends are pretty much completely inconsequential to the film. Like, their presence has no merit in this final showdown because there's none left. There is none left of that teenage group.
They're
all killed. And they're like a parallel storyline that's almost going on to the main storyline of this family.
They're just there to die, really.
They are just meat sent to die.
What the fuck, yeah.
That makes me care so little about this film because it doesn't even matter. There's not even one of them survive. How fucking dumb. And how much do they even interact and change the lives of the family? Like they barely do.
They have they only have 2 scenes with the family. Like one when they're skinny dipping, and then when they're introducing themselves when they move into the house. That's it. That's all.
And what the fuck does that do to these characters? Nothing. They cross paths, and that's it. It is ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
And this is one of the most like critically acclaimed of them.
I know. Especially, it pisses me off, right, that this one is the most critically acclaimed. Meanwhile, Part 3, a genuinely amazing horror film that we both adore. That's one of the worst reviewed ones. Like, it's got a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's absolutely ludicrous.
I really am thinking, like, did we... Like, what is it that we are seeing in 3 that what is it that people aren't seeing in 3 that we are? Like, how do they not see the richness of that film? I don't get it. Like, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, has a 51% score on Rotten Tomatoes from audiences. Are you
serious?
Yeah. 51.
What?
From sub 10% with Part 3.
Oh my god. Dude, that's got like a bloody, I think that's got a higher score than the original Saw movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Well, at least like, I just want to say that, let's try and focus on the few positives of this film. Because there's a little bit.
We've been dragging this film through the mud and all that, so let's give it some props.
There's a little bit, which is probably the last 15 minutes or so of this movie are quite good, I think. Or interesting. They're at least interesting, because, as you said before, Unmasked Jason is pretty fucking sweet.
Oh my god,
He looks like a Hills Have Eyes character.
Yeah, he does. This is the first, this is why I love this Unmasked Jason, because this is the first time Unmasked Jason has looked scary to me, because... You know, Baghead Jason, when he's unmasked, he looks goofy. Part 3, as good as the dream sequence was, where he's, like, running after Chrissy, he looks like a bloody goblin from Lord of the Rings. He does. He does. Like I know you like how he looks unmasked in part 3. I don't hate it. I just don't think he looks scary, apart from that one scene, obviously. But in this, he looks fucking creepy. When I was younger, I was always like, oh, he kind of looks like a crocodile. I don't know why. Whenever I'd see that unmasked Jason, I'd just be like, oh, crocodile, killer croc, or some shit. Oh my god.
he just has like this weird sort of mushroom head. Like his head just looks so enlarged and strange.
Yeah, definitely.
And you are right that when he falls over into the machete and slowly falls on the knife in his eye.
Oh,
is
that is incredible.
Marvelous.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And the best part about that shot of him falling onto the machete is the emotion that you see in his eyes.
How
you see him pretty much like realizing, oh, I'm fucked. I'm not okay. I'm not going to be okay after this. And he's actually worrying.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. He's like, oh shit, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt in the morning.
Yeah, that's the highlight moment of this film, without a doubt.
Oh, definitely. I think with the final 15 minutes, what works for me is especially definitely that all that unmasked Jason stuff. But I think also that's the first time in this movie that I felt unnerved in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you got Jason chasing Trish, the older sister, through the house. You got Tommy upstairs shaving his head, and then obviously confronting Jason, killing him, and all that. And when he's just hacking him apart and all that, I'm just watching this, and I'm just damn, I'm actually kind of unnerved. This is, I'm creeped out. Because this is a child murdering this guy, screaming die, die, die. 13-year-old me looks at it, doesn't think anything. But 22-year-old me, I see this and it's okay, this is fucked. This is a child doing it. This is going to he stopped the killer, but this is going to fuck him up for life. And then plus also Tommy looks bloody grotesque as well with the shaved head, which adds.
He looks like a goblin. He looks like freaking Smeagol, man.
Yeah, he does. Oh my god. No, but it's genuinely really unnerving to me, all that stuff, and it's really well done, honestly.
I like that you mentioned that, because this is actually something that I was thinking about yesterday, that this is perfect timing and also going to seem like a weird comparison, but okay. I already told you this, but I watched last night All Quiet on the Western Front, the 2022 remake, and it was wonderful, fantastic war movie, and I think what I really, really liked about it was that the film seemed to emphasize that rather than it being completely traumatizing, of course, and damaging, it's surrounded by so much death. But what really would have fucked up these people would have been being forced, instead coming so close to almost dying, instead having to kill, and just that idea of in war, boys not just fearing death, but boys killing boys, and how that just makes your whole evaluation of life and what the value of life is so skewed and strange. And that's and it really made me think about this movie, and how it's probably more traumatic for Tommy Jarvis coming out of this having killed Jason than just been surrounded by all the people that Jason has killed, because killing another human being is probably the most sort of it's antithetical to our purpose on this life, right? Which is the complete opposite of life preservation, and that being so destructive when you see almost the worst bit of reality happening, which is people killing people. Yeah, but having that inside of you, and not just realizing that it exists, but realizing that it exists inside of you, is far more damaging, I think. And that's what's interesting and sort of endearing, I think, about this moment with Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah, no, that's beautifully put right there, man. Because killing a man, or just killing someone in general, is probably one of the most fucked up things you can do to your own psyche, it's funny because while you were saying that, I was just thinking about
sorry that I'm laughing. I'm just imagining Kane's I've done it once and it was terrible, I hated it.
Oh yeah, no, but
one of the worst things I did.
No, I was just thinking before about how similar to like what I said when I was young, like when I was talking about like, oh, I watched this when I was younger and I didn't think anything of it. Oh, kid kills Jason, that's cool. But like when you're younger watching a film, right, and you see like death and like death plays like a big killing plays like a big like emphasis in the story. Like when you're younger, like did you whenever like they put a lot of dramatic emphasis on like the consequences of killing someone to your own psyche, did you like really like grasp that when you were younger?
Probably not.
I definitely did not. I here's an example, right? So, spoilers for Breaking Bad, for a fucking 10-year-old show. A show that ended 10 years ago. But basically, you remember when Jesse kills his first man?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he kills Gale, that shit fucks him up for the rest of the series. And as a young lad, I'm like, what is going on? Why is he still hung up on this, bro? Like, oh my god, like people killing The Walking Dead all the time. You don't see them complaining, but then like,
just get over it.
Yeah, literally, that was my mentality as a kid. Like, I'd always be bored whenever Jesse's stuff in like the mid seasons would come up because I'm like, oh my god, he's still depressed. Oh my god, but like, obviously. As I've gotten older, I watch that scene, I watch the show, I see what that moment makes him become. You really feel the weight of an action like that in film, when it's like in like film and all that, when they put a dramatic emphasis on it, you know what I mean? Like
that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the power of film, right? It's like trying to get us to understand this when not having killed someone, which is luckily, happily.
Yeah, like apologies for the tangent and all that, but like I just found that really interesting and all that, you know, since we're talking about like Tommy Jarvis and like, you know, killing Jason and all that. Which is funny also because the trauma of Tommy Jarvis killing Jason kind of leads on into the next movie, which we will talk about.
I feel like that I pretty much only have like my final thoughts to talk about this movie left, and that's it. Like, do you want to go on your like? Do you have any final thoughts to say about it?
Well, I got one thing. We didn't get any Crazy Ralph in this one. No, like Crazy Ralph stand-in. I mean,
yes, yeah, you're right.
We at least
but also like do they come? Like, I don't know if you can fully replace Crazy Ralph, and I don't even know if they fully try to.
No, well, they tried to in part 3 with the bloody guy holding the eyeball on the side of the road who looked like Uncle from Red Dead 2, but apart from that...
Oh, yeah, true.
Like, I kind of like him in that movie, but that's just because, you know, part 3 is a goated movie. But, you know, I think, actually, part 4 does not deserve Crazy Ralph. Does not deserve it.
It doesn't. It does not deserve a Crazy Ralph in this film.
Oh, wait, actually, I do have one more thing to add. Do you remember I don't remember his name, but, like, the guy that was looking for his sister and all that like, Trish is hanging out with for the whole movie? Like, the camper guy? Yeah. Do you remember him? Do you have anything to say about him?
I've nothing to say about him. I've got nothing to say.
I will say I found his storyline potential interesting. How he's hunting down Jason because his sister was murdered by him. His sister being the girl. I don't remember her name, but like one of the victims from part 2. That was the guy's sister. And then he's hunting him down in this one. And they don't really do anything. They don't do anything interesting with him apart from make him a bit of a red herring in terms of like, oh, he could be a killer. But yeah, that's it. And then he dies in a kind of goofy way because he's just screaming out, "He's killing me! He's killing me!" It's like, bro, we know, dickhead. Shut up.
This just went straight over my head, like as in this character and like side plot line.
Yeah, I don't blame you,
nothing
man.
For me.
It's so half-heartedly done. I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, it's just I did not even realize that it was another character from one of the other films. Like, just what? Like, there didn't feel like there was much emphasis on that.
Yeah,
but also because he didn't really get like any catharsis, right? Like, didn't get any conclusion.
Hell no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He was just there to die, just like everyone else.
Like everyone else and everything else, like every other little. It doesn't feel like any of the even characters like. It doesn't feel like their dynamics that. Okay, so in a lot of the other films, I feel like that they can have these teenagers that have little stories that may not go anywhere because they just die anyway, but they might learn a lesson or see something or have some sort of realization before they die.
Yeah.
And this one just did not have that. It didn't have that at all. It's like Marty McFly, I mean, not Marty, Crispin Glover, like, he pretty much just, like, he banged, right? Like, he actually did get to have sex, and then died, and then what did he realize about sex? Nothing.
No. He what he learnt is he wasn't a dead fuck, since that was the funny running joke in that movie with his character. Oh, yeah,
true.
Because he keeps complaining about being a dead fuck, so he did learn a lesson.
Pretty much my closing remarks is that this, weirdly enough, is probably the most impactful on the rest of the franchise. Like, it has Jason's death, it has Tommy Jarvis.
Jommy Jarvis.
It has Tommy Jarvis. It has, like, you know, it's sort of... It is the sort of kick to get a different direction for the whole rest of the franchise. But... it feels the most hollow, almost, than the rest of them.
Oh, definitely.
And that's really upsetting, right? Like, it feels more functional in the franchise than actually enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. It just feels like a stepping stone for what the series would become, rather than a memorable film on its own. Which sucks, because, like, I feel like we are two of the only horror fans that do not like this movie, because, like I said, this film is beloved in the horror community.
Weird, man.
It's
because
so
all
bizarre.
that I can think is functional. And what if that is, I think, one of the worst things that you can be told if you are a piece of art, right? Just serving a function, and that's it.
Yeah, it's really depressing, honestly. Oh, man.
Bad.
Sorry to leave you guys on such a sad note.
But we will catch you next week for part 5, A New Beginning.
Oh, it's gonna be a doozy, boys. So, we will see you guys next week. Have a lovely one, everybody.
And don't forget to check out our Facebook page at MarathonMeOfficial, all one word, and our Instagram, MarathonMe_official, to keep up to date on the podcast. And hey, if you want to get into contact with us, email us at marathonmepodc, yes, the letter C, @gmail.com. Like podcast without the ask.